Welcome to Bean Beans Motivations. Today, I want to talk to you about the little things. The little things matter. Always remember that and know that and appreciate the little things. Okay, so one time a while ago when I was working with children in the schools, one on one, I was working with a female and she had behavior problems and behavior problems such as like leaving the class, running out of class, cussing out the teachers, just telling staff no, not doing their homework, maybe arguing with other kids, behavior problems, like those kind of behavior problems. All right, so I was always applying for other positions because I wanted a more stable job at the time. This was like some time ago, but I'll never forget the incident because it kind of touched me in a way, but it also kind of inspired me too, and then I'll get to why. So I was leaving. I applied for a job. I only worked with my client, the female client, like maybe 2 weeks or so, one on one with her 2 weeks. Then when I was leaving, I asked her. It was a corner store not far from the school. So when I was leaving, I asked her. I said, "Hey, what do you want from the store?" And then she told me, she was just looking at me. And then I said, "Do you want anything from the store?" And then she finally, I was like, "Well, can you think of something you want? Like, I don't know, chips, cookies, like anything, let me know what you want." And then she finally told me what she wanted. So on my break, I went to get it because it was my last day. I went to get it, not to say that she deserved it, and I'm not saying that she did or didn't deserve it, but that was my last day, so that was like my gift to her, like So, uh, so I went to the store, came back, I got her stuff, and she was in the office with the rest of the staff. They called her in, and then I gave it to her. I was like, this is for you. This is my last day. It was nice working with you. And then I was just like motivating her to like remember to be good and listen and things of that nature. Then she started crying. I was like, man, what is she crying for? I was like, wait, I know I didn't say anything bad to her. I know I didn't, do anything wrong to her. And I was just like, did something happen at home? Something happened with the other kids throughout the day? And I was like, no, I was like in close proximity to her. So none of those things happened. And the staff was asking her, why are you crying? So she finally said, no one ever asked me what I wanted. And I was like, what? And the smallest little thing was like a trigger to her. It was like very emotional. And then I was like really sad too, because here I am, I'm a mom first. And, I treat these kids, even though they have behavior problems, like my kids, because like that's my responsibility to make sure they're safe, make sure, no harm, no nothing, make sure I'm trying to motivate them, educate them anyway, even though they have behavior problems. And then she was around the age my kid was. She was like around 10, 11. So I was like emotional too, because I ask my kids that all the time, and it's just like kids know what they want. They just have to be asked what they want, and then they have a right to choose. Like, we should give kids right to choose what they want. It shouldn't be always. When I was growing up, the parents always dictated what I got, what I wanted, what I needed. But nowadays, kids, we should give kids the rights and the freedom. And so that's what I did. The same thing I do with my own kids. What do you want? What do you want from the store? And she was crying so hard. I was like really trying to think in my head, but it was just a simple little thing. She said no one ever asked her what she wanted. Like imagine that at 10 or 11. She said no one ever asked her what she wanted. And it was just like wow. And I just never forgot that. It's just like just the smallest little things don't take for granted. And remember, if you're a parent, a grandparent, a teacher, ask the kids what they want. Let's start giving the kids choices so they can know what they want, and so they can, get used to speaking up for themselves and just giving them a choice. It's a small little choice. It starts from what do you want from the store. It's something small, but the smallest things matter. And let's not overlook the small things, and let's not also take advantage of the small things. So if you teaching kids, if you work with kids, grandkids, your own kids, ask them what they want. Don't, it's not always about what we want, what we give to them. And, no, like they have feelings and opinions too. And those feelings and opinions matter. And I guess she was crying because somebody actually took the time to, one, ask her what she want, and two, consider her feelings, consider her thoughts. So it's the little things that matter. And remember to ask the kids or the youth we're working with, or the youth we're responsible with, what do you want? Because it's the smallest things that matters in life. And she'll never forget that experience, and I'll never forget it either. Yeah. All right. Thanks.